fighting the wrong man. But have it your way.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we are putting up our dukes and looking at the 10 hardest Insomniac Spider-Man bosses. For this list, we'll be looking at 2018 Spider-Man and 2020 Spider-Man Miles Morales and working out which of the many bosses spread across both games gave us the hardest time. Whether they offered a unique challenge that was difficult to overcome or were just relentless in their strength and defense, as long as they made us want to break our controllers, then we're going to talk about them. Did we miss any? Which boss gave you the hardest time? Let us know in the comments below. Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Tombstone.
The angry drug lord drank alone. There's a poem in there somewhere.
You know better than me.
As a side mission that is completely optional, not every player who made it to the end of 2018 Spider-Man would have even encountered this thudding, crushing Goliath known as Tombstone. But those who did will not remember him fondly. Tombstone has an interesting quirk during his fight, which is that he is very resistant to damage until you manage to hit him with the counter serum inhaler that weakens his abilities, rendering him hurtable. You can hurt him is what I'm trying to get at. Don't fret though, you challenge seekers, because fighting him is still difficult even after you manage to get the serum into him. His waves of minions are the perfect distraction, allowing him time to approach and attack, and his fire chain attacks leave much to be desired. Not because they're terrible, but because they're terribly annoying. Tombstone is the worst. Well, one of the worst.
Too much to hope you'll be taking it easier now that you're, mortal?
Not a chance. Threat of death just ups the thrill.
Scorpion.
Wrap this up.
Never send an 8-ton infant to do a man's job.
In Spider-Man, the player actually takes on the infamous villain Scorpion twice. The first time is an interesting mind bend where the effects of Scorpion's poison causes Peter to hallucinate, creating an environment that is weird and awesome to fight through. The second boss fight, the one that has made this list, has the player taking on Scorpion toe-to-toe. Oh, also Rhino is simultaneously trying to hit them. Yes, a combo boss fight tells you all you need to know about this encounter. Trying to eliminate the quick-moving, nimble Scorpion while the also quick-moving and harder-hitting Rhino attacks you at the same time is a boss fight that proves that slow and steady is absolute bullshit. You know what's better than slow and steady? Fast and steady. Rhino.
On someone your own size, Rhino.
Speaking of this terribly awful Scorpion fight, there is 50% of this battle that is also terribly awful. Moving surprisingly fast for a big fella, Rhino hits hard and is invulnerable to damage until you can stun him. Finding the sweet spot to throw things at him to break his guard is annoying when a Scorpion man is also coming in and hitting you from angles you didn't expect. The trick is to drop Scorpion first and stay out of melee range. Rhino uses projectiles and hard close hits to keep you on your toes, so you better be ready for quick reactions throughout this whole fight.
Do you know what Octavius will do if he finds out you failed? I failed? Yes, you freak show!
Time might help you boys learn to play nice.
Shocker.
Hi, Herman.
Seriously?
Some people think that Shocker got his name from his ability to deal out electrical attacks. The truth is, he got it from his ability to seem like a pretty easy boss until his final phase. It's a real shocker. Shut up. The first part of this boss fight is a combination of basic dodging, getting chased, and hitting your opponent. The final phase is when things start to heat up, as you won't be able to do any damage to this guy unless you use your environment to your advantage. Watch out for those area of effect attacks and stay on your game until you can bring the roof down on this sucker. Assuming all goes well, you should be home in time for dinner.
Sorry, Herman. You brought this on yourself. Literally.
Taskmaster.
If you know my moves, you know I'm gonna wreck you.
Surprise me if you can.
Another optional boss comes in the form of Taskmaster, who the player can't engage until they've completed all the tasks set out by the villain himself. The idea of these tasks is to build information on Spider-Man in order to gain understanding on how to fight him. This is evident when it's impossible to land a melee hit on the relentless boss, instead forcing the player to constantly dodge counter. If you're good at dodging in 2018 Spider-Man, this is a challenge of endurance. Stay focused, keep your reactions swift, and take this guy down slowly and efficiently. If you aren't good at dodging in 2018 Spider-Man, this is a challenge of composure. Stay focused, keep your reactions weak, and try your best not to sell your console on eBay.
Why are you stalking me?
An organization hired me to see if you're worth recruiting.
I'd rather be Jonah Jameson's foot masseur than work for anyone who'd hire you.
Prowler.
Let Krieger and the Tinkerer kill each other. Go back to being Spider-Man when the heat dies down.
And what? Just hide down here? I don't get to pick and choose when I'm Spider-Man. I gotta stop Finn.
Finally, a boss from Spider-Man Miles Morales, the Prowler. The Prowler is interesting because if he was using all of the abilities he throws out across the multiple phases of this boss fight at once, he would easily be the hardest boss in the whole game. Fortunately for the player, he spreads out his worst traits to make it achievable. His cloaking ability makes it really difficult to keep an eye on him, and his combination of strength and agility prove as annoying as his hologram ability. Oh yeah, he has a hologram ability. Get good at dodging again, because even though this guy is pulling his punches, he is still one very tough cookie.
I know I messed up. I let you down.
Mr. Negative.
Turn back, Spider-Man. This is me and us.
I know about the accident.
When you take on Mr. Negative and Spider-Man, you definitely won't be feeling positive. Dumb joke. Mr. Negative follows a pattern that seems to be recurring in Spider-Man games. Super cakewalky, easy breezy first phase, nightmare, hellfire, wish you were never born, sell your own mother to skip this encounter final phase. The demon henchmen add an extra layer of annoyance, which will have you screaming at your television, I reckon I could take this guy on if it weren't for all these f***ing guys! But even without them, you still have to take on Mr. Negative in his final demon super form. With a wide area of attack, the trick here is focus and crowd control. Keep on top of the enemies, be ready at any moment to dodge, hurl objects at Mr. Negative to revert him back to his normal form, run in to do damage, escape before he changes back, rinse, repeat. Mr. Negative, more like Mr. Big Piece of shit. Hammerhead.
Nuts.
Nah. I'm just a guy who knows a thing or two about PR. The city don't take the Maggia seriously no more. Don't respect us. But after they see me break you in half, all that's gonna change.
You may have missed this one if you didn't get your hands on the DLC for Spider-Man titled The City That Never Sleeps. Hammerhead is a real doozy. Remember Tombstone? Well, not to be reductive, but Hammerhead is essentially him, but with better weapons and tougher skin. So yeah, poop. This battle requires the consistently annoying task of dodging bullets whilst flinging your own projectiles, which can be a real test in timing. Good luck.
No, Yuri! Don't do this! Captain, stop!
Dr. Octopus.
Give me the anti-serum! Otto, I've worked your whole life to help you. Please.
It's only right that the final boss, the mastermind behind the Sinister Six, and Peter's mentor and actual boss, would be the hardest boss in the game. The fight takes place over multiple phases, and each phase is a masterclass in a different style of combat. At its core though, this fight is a challenge of endurance and never letting your opponent have the upper hand. Stay focused and don't miss those dodge opportunities. Keep your distance and wait for your chance to strike and do damage. Avoid the strongest attacks and don't get tripped up by the area of effect moves. Stun, hit, and run. Doc Ock is taking no prisoners.
The anti-serum.
the Tinkerer.
Only carry some of you. She started already.
The Tinkerer is the final boss fight in Spider-Man Miles Morales, and seems almost as if the developers took everything they learned from the previous bosses of both games and combined them into something truly terrifying. The Tinkerer has a massive bag of tricks that she uses across all phases of this boss fight, whilst already being very strong and very, very fast. She uses ranged attacks and gadgets like turrets and a death wheel. Throw in mines and annoying explosions, and you've got a boss fight that keeps the player constantly alert and tests them in everything they've learned from the previous game, its DLCs, and the game we've just been playing. The Tinkerer takes things up a whole notch and may have caused the downfall of my own no throwing controllers rule, because I threw the controller. Oops. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos.